Hey folks, Keric here with some more Torchlight 2 for you. I'm sure you're fed up looking at it by now. Considering the beta's now over, I'm pretty much going to wrap up this video. I just wanted to show you a little bit more combat. And put some words down, I guess. Combat in the background is probably one of my favourite areas in the beta. And that was Watchwheel Temple. Something about the enemies in here, the kind of greasy sliminess of the place that really appealed to me. Don't read into that. I just kind of like the way the blood's replaced by kind of black gloopy tar stuff, and it just seemed to fit in really well. Anyway, as I said before, first time I played through, I had the difficulty stuck on normal, which I've later found out was quite a big mistake. I did play through it again on Veteran, which is actually I think the level it probably should be played at for anybody that's ever picked up a game before in their entire life. And we'll have some multiplayer combat on that later on. As you can tell by the combat in the background, if you've been watching, there's a hell of a lot of things that go bang in your face. Soundtrack kind of plays along with that as well, and we'll have some footage here of one of the bosses coming up. I think the whole effect is to give combat a kind of visceral feel. It's very satisfying to watch shields break. Well, actually they don't break, they shatter. Fucking hell, what am I talking about? Things don't die, they explode. You get clouds of blood in your face. Hell, if you've killed them and they haven't exploded, you can even walk over, whack their corpse a couple of times and then have it bloody explode. What more could you possibly want from an ARPG? I've kind of come to Torchlight 2 as a bit of a novice. I played a little bit of Torchlight and I've got to be honest with you, these type of games have never really been my thing. The whole idea of crawling around a dungeon looking for loot kind of leaves me a little bit cold, to be honest with you. I find it sort of repetitive. Anyway, I'm kind of glad to say that Torchlight 2 has actually made me change my mind a little. I really enjoyed playing the multiplayer section on this the other night. I managed to get a group of, I think it was about 4 people together, just randoms, but playing in a group made the combat a lot more difficult in terms of being able to see what you were doing, and also in terms of pure difficulty. As you'll see, the enemies take a hell of a lot longer to kill. Now we're into the multiplayer section. I just pick up some random shit in the background. Yeah, I am a loot whore. Theoretically, these games should appeal to me greatly. But as you can see, the stuff doesn't go down with one hit anymore, which makes it a little bit more fun. My health bar is actually taking a bit of a pounding, which makes a change from the first playthrough. I think there's about 3 or 4 here at the moment. There is a full room full of 6 playing it, but a couple of them off in different sections. But I mean, as you can see, the combat is seriously heavy going. Taking something down, having it explode into chunks like that thing just did, is incredibly satisfying. So yeah, I think all in all, Torchlight's kind of brought me around to thinking that I might be interested in doing some multiplayer stuff. I've certainly got quite a few friends that like the genre, so it shouldn't be too hard to fit in. Coming up, we have the Gruul fight. It's quite early on in the game, about level 10, 11 sort of area. And he's the boss in Wellspring Temple. We have, yeah, 4 people in the group at the moment. So there's quite a few there. Enough to show multiplayer off fairly well, I guess. I pretty much just had preps running the whole time I was playing, so a lot of this footage in the background sometimes is a little bit off-center. Definitely made a huge difference to the combat. When even veteran and single player was doable. I certainly wouldn't like to be trying to fight a lot of these on my own. Let's put it that way. The extra players changes the difficulty so that even the most kind of basic mobs can quite happily take you down. And bosses kind of take on a new level, in all fairness. Beforehand I really had no trouble with them whatsoever, but as you'll see later on in the video, they were quite happily one-shotting us at several points. Yeah, I definitely think Torchlight has its own style. I think it's sort of impossible to watch the footage and not know what game it is, which is always a good thing. The nice thing about it is they've improved on a lot of the effects from the first game. I think really that kind of sums it up for me. They've taken a lot of the stuff from the first game that I wasn't entirely enthralled about and improved upon it. Kind of creating something which is just generally better. I think it's kind of hard to put your thumb on it. I mean, there's obvious big steps forward, like the multiplayer option, which wasn't in the first game. There's also a lot more customization than there was in the first game, but I think it kind of manifests itself more in a general kind of a way. And this is General Grell, talking of all things general. Christ, that was a crap link. But yeah, just in general, the whole game feels more polished. Like it's had work done to it, a little bit of plastic surgery here and there. So at its core, it's essentially the same game, just improved upon. And I think really, a lot of times, that's what people are looking for. So yeah, that was Torchlight 2. I had an absolute ball playing the multiplayer. My thanks to everybody that joined in. Certainly one for the purchase list on Steam, I think. I hope you've enjoyed our little look at Torchlight 2. I've been Keric the Pally. You have a good evening.